Hello everyone, Tanak here. Welcome to episode 99 of Building My Industrial Empire in EVE Online. I'm recording this a little bit later, so you might hear that my voice is not the same as usual. Anyway, let's start with the progress report. My net worth plus that of the corporation is now at 231 billion ISK. If you see the tracker here, it's a little higher than last week. We can see the detail here. It's actually about 1 billion more than last week. It is more than that actually. Well, it is not more than that because this week we had to pay our coalition SRP fund. So most of the money that came in went to pay our monthly SRP for the month of November. Which is, I mean, it's just part of being in a coalition. We contribute to the SRP fund, and when we lose ship in fights, we get SRP'd. So all in all, I'm not complaining about that. It's just a usual expense. You see that Tanak dropped a little bit, which is surprising because I did rat a little and I didn't lose anything this week. So kind of weird, but whatever. I mean, sometimes value of items and stuff like that will change. Again, so the rest corporation is climbing and the rest is pretty stable. So not a big change this week in total assets. That's it for that. HR, we are now at 331 member here. Right here you can see it. Here 361, which is exactly the same as last week. We did get some new member. We did have some character that left Corp too. So all in all, it's no change for this week. Pretty standard. We have the new palette that I talked to you about. I've started trickling in. So most of them are like pretty close to getting in. They're moving their asset before joining Corp because of the war deck, and they are joining pretty soon, or some of them, the first one, have already started joining. So that's pretty much it for HR. No big change. Our online number are pretty stable, like between around 55 active in PvP, sometimes climbing to 260. So it's pretty stable here. Now war, PvP, and all these nice kind of thing. Well, first thing you might already saw is our system are getting toasted. So I'll give you a little recap of the week because that just happened before I was filming. So week was pretty standard as usual. Typical battle in pocket, typical fleet battle, like one like this here where we went to help what could possibly go wrong and out of the blue. So we went with the coalition to help PIBC. These are like cool fight even numbers, so that is that are like pretty interesting fight. These one I wasn't there personally. This one happened during EU time zone. But it's mostly, I think that's the cap that were dropped by PIBC that were the big loss on our part. But I wasn't there. But all in all, these fights like this are interesting, even if we don't win all of them. These fights are regular content, so that's pretty cool. Aside from that, this is another fight here. Actually, that happened last night for me. So it's probably early morning Eve time. Anyway, Severance came in and tried to toast 4 of our system. Most of our IHUB are at a period where are timed for to align with the coalition, not necessarily our biggest time zone. So there's a little bit of a time zone tank there, just so that we're aligned when the coalition can show up. So with 34 people coming in system, we did have to rely on the coalition to help us, and they did came through and help us. So last night they didn't manage to toast anything. It was a good fight. On like they tried to toast 4 system and we pushed them off. So last night was no system were toast. Now what happened after that was that earlier tonight we had a big coalition form to defend the Fort Azar. We had about 170 member in fleet ready to go take the fight, but instead of attacking the Fort Azar and pushing the Fort Azar timer, they used that opportunity to try and push the WOMP pocket. So they started toasting 2 systems, but they came this time with a larger fleet. That's one of the D-scan I have, but at some point the fleet was, I was told, 240 people. And while we were equipped in Tornado to go fight on a Fort Azar grid, so there wasn't much point in trying to come back and trying to run around a more agile fleet with Tornado. So we punted those timer. They did manage to entosis 2 system here, which is QS and GJO. These fight will happen later during the week, around it's going to be Sunday night for me, so it's probably Monday morning Eve time. So they did manage to entosis those 2 systems. This IHUB here belongs to Dread Bomb. This one is a WOMP IHUB. And after that, they also ref the jump bridge here, and we were really unlucky because the timer popped like an hour after, or a little more than an hour after. So they ref the jump bridge and they were able to attack it right after that. Initially the big fleet left, and so we went with a fleet, with a coalition fleet, and we were 20 jump out helping an ally on a timer, on a blue ball timer, when they attacked the jump bridge again. A small group of Flying Dangerous, and we nearly came back in time, but not quite enough, so they managed to shoot that jump bridge. So right now what it means is that we got 2 system reinforced, and that jump bridge here have been shot. Nothing dramatic. I mean, like, it's not the first time I get the IHUB. It's like my third or fourth sub. Well, in Pure Blind when we invaded, then Pure Blind when there was a few fight with Banderlog with sub warfare, then Geminate was sub warfare galore, and this is, again, we're used to that. So I don't stress with this. It's just 2 systems that have been toasted, and they got pretty good ADM. We'll see what happened. It really depends on how hard they commit to get those systems. I mean, it is a defensive war for us. We're in our constellation. We know the place. We got our pings everywhere. We got dock up everywhere. We are within jump range of like Titan bridge range of everybody in the coalition. So I'm not too worried for now. What could be worrying a little bit is just the numbers, because we are being not massively outformed, but outformed a little bit by fire most of the fights, and they don't take fight unless they got a real high numerical advantage. Like the fight that we had today, both fleet could have probably fought each other, they didn't push the fourth timer, so we were ready to take that fight, even though we were a little below them in numbers. But I mean, whatever. I mean, that's strategically, you take the fight you want, and I'm not going to argue again. And if you can bring more people to the table, more people to a battle than the other guy, that's part of the game too. So for me, I'm not arguing. I'm not like complaining that, oh no, they got more people than us. I mean, that's part of the game. Getting more people on your team is a good strategy. But what is happening though is, if you just look at the number, because I like to be pretty transparent in what I'm showing you. Like you see here, 61 active member in WOMP, so that's a good enough number. And also, even though we are fighting, or we still had a pretty good week, so we are still at 51. But if you look here in Tenerife, you got Flying Dangerous and Lolly that are part of Fire. So if you look at Flying Dangerous, they got like, basically Flying Dangerous is a corp about the same size as WOMP. Their strongest time zone is later than us, so when they're online, we can't bring the same number as they have. And when we got our strong time zone, they typically don't have enough players. So it doesn't make like there's like a very small window where we can take good fight. But Flying Dangerous, they were our neighbor in Pureblind. We had a good relationship with them, and I got a lot of respect for these guys. They will take fight. We have fun fight often enough. So I mean, I don't mind, but that's one group, and they're basically, now they've grown a little bit since they were a neighbor in Pureblind, because in Pureblind WOMP was a lot bigger, and Figgle was a little bit smaller, so we were like a lot stronger than us, like a lot more numerous than them. But they have grown in size. They actually bought our SOV when we left Pureblind. And now they came and they decided to join Fire, so they're one of the group we are fighting. The other one is Lolly, which is Lollipop Monopoly. Lollipop Monopoly is a little bit smaller, but 25%, so that's about half of our number. And then, so these are guys that we can see regularly. And now you got to go on the people that live in Dementia. So you got Black Rose that we're fighting, which is larger than us, like about 20 more people than us that live in this pocket here. Then you got Already Replaced. So Already Replaced is basically almost 100 people, and they got this space here. Now Cosmic Accord. Cosmic Accord, we don't see them that much, but they're smaller, so that's another half our size. And then you got Celestial Empire, which is so it's the Celestial Empire. So CISA is like about our size. So you basically have like one, 2, 3, 4 with Figgle that are our size or a little bit bigger, and then you got 2 smaller group, and then you got Legion of Death and Razor and Valkyrie that will sometime come, and Severance. So that's a lot of group that are against us. And although we do have the coalition backing us up, that's still a lot of people. And on the big fleet fight, they will typically be managed to bring like 30-40% more than us in terms of number, But we do take these battles. I think that one-on-one, the Wrecking Crew guys are FCs, are my experience from what I saw, they are pretty good. But again, it's a fight, and I might be BAs for my team, so whatever. So take that with a grain of salt, but whatever. Anyway, it does make for interesting battle, but on the day-to-day, it does mean that for us, we do have a lot of people coming in pocket. So we have regular content, and we're not complaining about that. We like that, but it is more constant, and it means that we're often enough. Like for them, it looked like, it's like the one fight of the day where they come and roam the one pocket. But for us, it's like 4, 5, 6 group that will come during the night. So it's a little bit, more intense, but it's still fun. So anyway, I'm rambling a little bit, but anyway, the big point now is those two systems here. Will they stop there? Will they push more? We'll see. We will see how this fight goes. It's going to be interesting enough. I mean, we could get evicted. Maybe we'll push them back. That's part of the game. That's what we are all playing this game to make pew pew with our spaceship. I do wish that generally speaking, I do wish that there were more fight that people can take, but like some of the stuff you just can't engage. Like after a bit, when we disbanded here, the coalition fleet went home because they were in tornado, and we didn't want to change the union. And then you had 100 people in the WOMP pocket with 20 of us. So that's just plain suicide. When the bulk of their fleet left, and they were like around 10 people left, and we had about 10 people, we did undock and try to fight them. We didn't have the big, it didn't work very well. We didn't manage to stop the entosis, but still, we'll usually take fight that are engageable or within logical enough range to engage, but there's no point in feeding on purpose or throwing like 20 ship against 100. That's just suicide. So anyway, that's pretty much it for the war. I might have to do like a 99.5 episode if some stuff like really there's some big change this week, but I'm lazy, so probably not. What else? Oh yeah, we did have a lot of because these are the big fight, but we do have a lot of cool stuff happening in pocket again. Where was that? The guys wanted me to show this. I wasn't on that specific fight, but there was one single very blingy legion that came to rob our ESS, and the guy managed to undock Feroxes, and he was actually out of the bubble, but I think he got overconfident and came back, and he came within an antimatter range of 14 Feroxes. That's not healthy. So that's one of the guys were pretty happy just because it was like a pretty bling legion. This one here was a nail-biting fight. Okay, 1 day old character with a raven sitting on a gate. So, I mean, our guys took the bait. Straight up, it's like, free kill, a battleship on one of our gate. Let's go. So we did manage to tackle him, and then started trickling in. So we went like a little bit, not one at a time, but we did send 2 tackle, and then we started throwing more ship at it. The result was a dead Raven and a dead Loki on our part. But just to show you, I got my Geddon here. I nearly lost it. Okay, this is how I was at the end of the fight. I finished that fight with 3% hull. So that was a real nail biter. But still, it was a pretty crazy fit with 3 Ensel shield booster. So anyway, pretty fun fight. We get these fights like this basically daily. We like one of these fights, and again, WOMP likes to undock and will take fight that we think we can win. Sometimes people accuse us of blobbing. I mean, we're kill hungry. It's not called Space Jewel Online, and people will do that to us too. I mean, if we get a fleet, if we fly in a fleet of 10 people and they got 20, well, they will jump on us, and that's okay. That's part of the game. And if we see a fight that is engageable for us, we will take it. So that's pretty much it for the war. So anyway, really busy week, and especially busy day because of those two entosis system. Aside from that, well, that's pretty much it. Industry, not much change. We're not increasing our industrial footprint right now, waiting to see how the political situation stabilize. We got a good enough setup already. We're still, if you look at EVIs, I don't have it open, but if you look at EVIs, I've looked earlier today, and we are still the biggest industrial power in catch. I think that we're probably the only the only people that are doing serious industry in catch. So we do have a few systems that are pushed to industrial index, not the cost index for industry at almost 3. So yeah, that's pretty much it on the industrial side. Me personally, what did I do this week? I got a new skin for my Geddon. But skill point, I'm now at 63 million. Did get some free skill point today. I'm trying to train T2 heavy drones right now, basically continuing to work like to become a more complete subcap pilot. I don't have any real goal of getting into cap right now. I might be able to fly a carrier. We'll see. I don't. The thing with cap is that you get to fly them like once in a blue moon if you're lucky. And there's a reason people do cap alt in this game is because because you basically, when you're in a cap, you're just waiting to drop on and most of the time you're not fighting in fleet, so you get to see a lot more action with subcap than cap. But I'm not like, I do have alts in game, like spying alt, scout alt. I hate playing alt. I really dislike having more than one character, so most of my alt are just there either to hold a corporation or to scatter, because I don't have a choice to have them. If I could play without alt, I would. This game is just not made for that, so I do have, like, I think I got 12 characters or something, like 4. I got 4 account, but none of them are really well trained. I only got 1 Omega account. I don't have a cap alt. I don't have I guess, so that's it. So I got no interest in that. So I'm just training Tanak, and so I probably will not be flying cap anytime soon. I sold my Moros. I don't have any other cap. I can get into. I could get into. I can fly a carrier, not well, but I can. But I don't have one. So anyway, right now I'm just working on being a more complete subcap pilot. So I've rambled long enough. I've been. I still wanted to do an update even if it's late. So all in all, moral is good. Interesting fight coming. lots of action. That's that. I can't complain that I'm lacking content right now. So anyway, hope you guys enjoy, and see you next week. Bye bye.